Am I the asshole for wanting my stepdaughter to get a job? Throwaway account. So my 46 male fiance makes a lot more than 27 female. Me like a lot more than I could make in 10 years. He has 2 kids, 17 female and 14 male, him and his ex-wife, 39 female, co-parent and are very good friends. My fiancé spoils his kids, more specifically his daughter who I'll call Kenzie. He gives her a ridiculous allowance and buys her anything she wants, including a new car for her 15th birthday, which he also paid for the customs. He also bought his son a motorbike. She's always buying new clothes, she has packages every day and food. My problem is Kenzie doesn't work at all. Yay, she's a smart kid. Her teachers love her and she plays sports and is always hanging out with her friends and is a part of a million extracurricular. If she has time for all that, I think she has time for a part-time job. I don't think she should be getting $1,000 allowances and new cars and devices, and if she wants those things she should have to pay for them herself. When I was her age I didn't have mommy and daddy's money, I worked just like normal kids did. I think it's teaching her bad habits and entitlement and not preparing her for the real world. I asked her why she doesn't get a job, especially since she's going to university in NYC in the fall. She said, I just really don't want or need to, I kinda just want to have fun. Fun is okay, but I think she needs to learn hard work. I expressed this to my fiancé and he was kinda annoyed and said, from text message, everything she has she deserves, same with, son. It's my job to keep my kids happy, safe and successful, and they are. She's a good kid and my angel, and as long as she's being a good person and working towards something, then IDC she has the rest of her life to work and have responsibilities. Her only responsibility now is to get good grades and take of her car. Frankly, I don't care to discuss any of this with you because it's none of your business, they aren't your children. The last part really upset me because I am about to be their stepmother, I should be able to have a say, and because I help pick them up from school and things, only to be told it's not my business. I feel like this is going to be a problem in our relationship and I haven't changed my opinion. My sister and mom agrees with me, but I've been avoiding my fiancé slightly because how offended I was. Thoughts? And #X200B. Edit. I discussed it further with SD to get her insight on the situation and she got very irritated and said, I literally just don't want to. I tried to explain to her that the feeling of working and earning your own money is much better than aimlessly shopping, and her father can't support her forever and it might build an attitude of entitlement. Her response is that she is entitled to what she wants and she earned what she has, and even if she didn't earn it, it's not my business. Then proceeded to say I was really starting to fucking annoy her. This is what I meant. I've known her for 4 years and this is how I am spoken to over a minor disagreement. I'm afraid that this entitlement and disrespect is bred from her father's behavior. I don't think an ego like that is healthy for a 17-year-old. Yeah, you are the asshole. They're not your children. Just because you help pick them up from school doesn't mean you get any sort of say in how they are raised. It seems like you're jealous and you're acting like a child about it, which makes sense because you're closer to your fiancé's kids' ages than you are to his age. You're acting out of pocket and the asshole big time. You are the asshole. Her parents want her to enjoy being a kid, so she gets to enjoy being a kid. You are coming in all evil stepmother-like, and I guarantee that won't work well for you at all. You are the asshole. You sound jealous. You are the asshole. She has 2 parents that look out for her. Let them do their jobs. It's not your place to say anything to her. If you were the one raising her and being responsible for her day-to-day needs from when she was a young child, your role in her life would be different. Your job at this point is to be supportive, not authoritative. Give your opinion when asked. Be their supportive friend and direct the parent stuff to their parents. Getting your mother and sister involved? You are the asshole, big time. I think a lot of parents would love to be in a position to be able to do this for their children. Be able to provide so that their kids' only concern is grades. The pressure American children are under to perform in the class, exam results, and then outside be involved in sports and a million extracurricular. Just to considered for a university place. If the parents of any child can save them 10-15 hours a week, probably at minimum wage, they would. Tell the truth, is her allowance bigger than yours? You are the asshole. She's a smart kid, gets good grades, participates in many extracurricular activities and is going to a good college next year. What would a minimum wage job teach her when it sounds like she's using the opportunity of her privileged upbringing quite well? Then there's the age thing. She's nearly an adult herself and she is closer in age to you than you are to your husband. Why would you ever think you should try to act like a parent? Your husband is right, you do have no business acting like her parent. His kids already have 2 parents and it's not your business. The kids have a richer lifestyle than you're used to. Even as a stepmother, you're not going to have the input on decision-making about his kids that you want, so get used to it now. Back off. And by the way, she has $1,000 allowance and you want her to work for minimum plus wage for a couple months before she goes to college? That doesn't make sense. You are the asshole. Info. I don't think she should be getting $1,000 allowances and new cars and devices, and if she wants those things she should have to pay for them herself. Will this apply to you as well, if the rich husband ever offers you any of that? Or will you go get a second job evenings and weekends to buy yourself what you want? What with you probably spending less time at work than this kid does at school, extracurriculars, sports, and being within sibling age range of her? Would I be the asshole for refusing to allow X-Mill to touch or see new baby? X-Mill made my life a living hell when I was married to her son. She is unhealthy, obsessed with everything baby related. When became pregnant with my daughter she referred to her as my baby. However, when my daughter was about 4 months old, X-Mill proceeded to tell me I was being selfish for referring to my own child as my baby, and that I wasn't allowed to refer to my child as my baby, and should instead refer to her as our baby. She insisted on coming to every prenatal appointment and every pediatrician appointment. I did not allow this, but it was a constant battle. She will stalk people with babies when shopping and walk up to strangers minding their own business to ask if she can hold their babies. She shares her opinion on how strangers should hold, feed, clean, parent their babies, to their faces. It is obnoxious. She criticized nearly everything I did with my daughter, went against many of my wishes when she was babysitting my daughter, and talked bad about me behind my back. My daughter is almost 9 years old. I share custody with ex-husband, who lives with his parents. X-Mill does the bulk of the parenting for our daughter. Because I grew a backbone and learned to set solid boundaries, she's generally respectful, at least to my face, and we don't have many quarrels these days. However, I do still see her on a nearly weekly basis because she does the bulk of transporting my daughter back and forth. I'm currently remarried and pregnant. I know she's going to try to get handsy and nosy after I give birth and when I have baby with me while I meet her weekly to exchange my older daughter. I have zero trouble setting boundaries with her, but I have adamantly been the one to encourage amicable exchanges and amicable communications for my older daughter's sake. Anytime we have a quarrel or my daughter tells me that X-Mill has made a nasty comment about me, I'm the one to confront her calmly and remind her that her behaving that way is not conducive to the healthy relationship we need to have for daughter's sake. My confrontations are usually met with silence, but she has mostly stopped the nasty comments within earshot of my daughter. Because of the resentment I feel toward all that I had to deal with because of X-Mill, I worry that my mama bear instinct will prompt me to be extra super duper protective of new baby and it will come off as asshole-ish. I can just see her asking to hold new baby and me snapping in response that she'll never touch my new baby ever for as long as I'm alive lol. Honestly, I don't even want her to see new baby. Thank God for car seat covers lol. But, because my older daughter will be there, I am concerned that my protectiveness may come across as assholish and immature, and that it will set a bad example for my older daughter, especially given my continued efforts to encourage friendly exchanges with X-Mill. So, would I be the asshole for refusing to let her touch, or even see, my current soon-to-be newborn? You are not the asshole for not wanting her to see your child. She sounds overbearing and doesn't know what a personal bubble is. If some lady came up to me and asked to hold my child I wouldn't let her. Note. I don't have children. Not the asshole for not wanting her to see the baby. But remember that your daughter is probably going to be super proud of her sibling, and will probably want her other family to share in that experience. You may have to give a little to allow your daughter to have a sense of pride and not make her uncomfortable with the other side of her family. Not the asshole. She has absolutely no reason to be a part of your baby's life. Get extra dark tinted windows so she can't see in the car. Sorry, he's sleeping. Or you can use COVID as an excuse to keep her away for a long time. ETA. Your sweet daughter can share pictures of her new sister. Not the asshole. It's your kid, not hers. Also, I forget what the condition is called, but it's where a spouse is unsupportive emotionally, so the person turns to their kid as a emotional spouse, telling them things they'd normally tell their spouse. Then when their kid, emotional spouse has their grandkid, the grandkid becomes their kid. It's called something incest. But I forget what. Not the asshole and you know it. However, be prepared for the worst but hope for the best. I wouldn't put it past her to become batshit crazy with the new kid. Not the asshole. I'd tell her that you'd not deny or interfere with her relationship with her granddaughter and that you'll always work cooperatively with her in regards to your older daughter. However, you don't think it is going to go well if she tries to involve herself with your new child, nor do you think it is appropriate. Obviously better you do what you can to keep it from coming up and avoid her ever being in the same place as your baby. Not the asshole. She sounds like a psycho, and she's not technically related to the new kid, so there's no reason to be involved in your new baby's life. Listen to that mama bear instinct. Not the asshole. You should have gone no contact after the "it's our baby, not your baby" crazy town. Am I the asshole for paying for one daughter's extras but not the others? My husband, 50M, and I, 48F, have twin daughters, 17F, Kate and Amy. Both of our daughters do very well academically. They have their full license and occasionally use one of our cars. We are fortunate to be doing well financially. The issue? Our parenting philosophy for the girls is that we will obviously support them financially while they are still in high school and living at home, and we will pay for their extracurriculars. But they are both old enough to have after-school jobs and pay for what we call their extras. Amy has always been very passionate about sports. She currently swims competitively and trains 5 days a week, sometimes 2x a day. We pay for her club fees, equipment, travel expenses to meets etc. And are happy to do so. Now that she is old enough, Amy drives herself and one of her teammates to their morning, 4:30 a.m., practice, and my husband and I pay half the gas. The other girl's parents pay for her share. Between school and practice, Amy does not have time for a part-time job, but she saves birthday, Christmas money and babysits occasionally to pay for extras and go out for lunch with friends. Kate has never been interested in sports, and this is totally fine with us. Kate is very interested in clothes, hair, makeup etc. Amy is not at all. Again, as long as she isn't neglecting school, we have no problem with this. However, we have told Kate that she will need to find a job to pay for the makeup she wants, her hair, her nails, the extra clothes she wants. The girls wear uniforms to school. We buy their regular clothes but will not buy multiple new outfits each month, her gas, her daily Starbucks habit. I will pay for the girls to get haircuts, but I will not pay $300 for her to get a full head of highlights. I will buy them drugstore shampoo but not the $60 salon brand. I don't know why a 17-year-old needs a night serum, but she will need to buy the expensive skincare products she feels she needs. We will buy the girls their phones and pay for their plans, but we will not buy the latest model of iPhone the second it comes out. This has led to many recent bouts of screaming and accusations of assholery directed at us from Kate. She has accused my husband and I of favoritism because we pay for Amy's swimming extras, but not her extras. She sees her friends' parents paying for everything and thinks we should as well because we can. She also thinks we should be spending the same amount on both the girls every month. I've told her that if she decided she wants to do an actual extracurricular activity, an art class, a fashion-related class etc., I'm happy to pay for it, but otherwise she is responsible for paying for her extras. My sister thinks that since we can afford to pay for all of these things we should. But our philosophy is that we want them to learn to be financially responsible and save for things they want. I feel guilty because I want them to feel like distinct but equally loved individuals. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I'm assuming the buy your own beauty products rule applies to both girls, in which case it's perfectly fair. This isn't about how much money you spend on each child, but how much you invest in their education and personal development. Highlights and expensive shampoo don't fall into that category. Classes in fashion or art or even hairstyling and makeup probably do fall into that category, and Kate should take you up on your offer to pay for those. She has accused my husband and I of favoritism because we pay for Amy's swimming extras, but not her extras. It might be a little clearer for Kate if you stop using the word extras in addition to extracurriculars, since she seems confused about the difference. You are the asshole. You are spending hundreds of dollars a month on one child but not the other. Of course Kate feels this way. Treating her this way isn't going to teach her anything about money and might backfire once she finally has some financial freedom. Give Kate an allowance, and this way she will be able to start making choices about what's important to her. Gas money versus hair serum versus Starbucks. You are the asshole. It does seem like favoritism. You are spending one child's hobbies and disregarding the other. I totally get why your other daughter is pissed off. Source. I have had this happen to me as a child, and trust me, I still hold resentment over it. My brother was the golden child in my eyes and could get anything he wanted. I on the other hand had to work for everything I had except basics. It actually is super favoritism, though. You're basically rewarding one girl for being into sports and punishing the other for not being into sports, or for being more into hair and makeup. It really isn't fair to choose which extras, be they sports or beauty, you think are worthy. If you want to be actually fair, and still want to keep paying for the sports stuff, I recommend no longer saying, I'll pay for X but Y is extra, and instead say each girl will get a budget of, same amount of your choosing, per time period of your choosing, and anything above that is on you, except in case of emergencies. Edited to add judgment. You are the asshole. IDK. I see your points, but also, your girls are different people. One daughter is, in effect, being rewarded for who she is, while your other daughter is being penalized for not being or doing what you would prefer. I feel like you should give them the same amount each month, and if one chooses to use it for sports, etc., and the other for clothes and makeup, that is on them. Yes, I do think it would be good for them to have jobs, but to force one to work, while paying for what the other wants isn't cute. You are the asshole. Look, fact is, you are using one child's interest to justify giving less to the other one. And I don't think everything has to be exactly equal. But if you are paying, let's just say $1,000 a year for one daughter, but telling the other basically, I'll only pay for your food and your haircut, it's really not fair. Unpopular opinion, you are the asshole. Kate's kinda right, you are playing favorites. Amy gets all her swimming fees, travel covered, new equipment, and gas money, versus Kate who has to pay for gas, and everything related to makeup, beauty she wants. Fair would be you paying for half of Kate's gas, and a set amount of money each month for makeup or other beauty products. Not the asshole. That level of swimming competition could easily lead to a college scholarship and will certainly look good on college applications. It is an addition to her education. Keep offering to pay for classes and activities for both of them, and say you are willing to pay for personal development, but not luxuries. Fair is not the same as equal. Am I the asshole for calling a child a shitass? Today I, 33 male, took my son, 3 male, to an outdoor public pool. This particular pool is great as my son is learning how to swim independently because it has a large 2-3 female kids pool. He's not the only kid, there's probably 5 or 6 others, most of whom are within a year or two of his age save one, who I would guess is a 6-7-year-old, we will call him EK. EK's swimming ability is enough to swim in the large pool, but I can also understand the kids' pool is a lot of fun to play in. My son brought a diving stick with him which we used to practice going completely underwater. A couple of the other kids joined in and all of them were having a good time, diving after the stick, and taking turns throwing it. That's when EK caught wind of the fun and wanted in on it. Now this is the point where I should mention my 3-yo son is 98% in height, weight, so he's been mistaken for a 5-yo more than once. EK starts getting aggressive about going for the stick, quickly running off the rest of the little ones. My son thinks it's fun, and keeps playing. That was until EK decides it's his stick and wants to take it into the big pool. As EK is exiting, my son verbalized, "Hey, that's my stick, give it back?" EK says, "No." My son says forcefully, "That's mine." EK then throws the diving stick over the fence of the property, laughs, and jumps into the big pool. At this point my son is frustrated and comes to me for help. All this had my full attention. I just make a point not to hover over him. He asks me, "Why did he do that?" I said, "Son, sometimes kids are mean. They see others smaller or younger and choose to prey on their victims for pleasure. It won't be the last time this happens, but it's okay to feel the way you do. Sometimes it may be necessary to defend yourself, other times it may be better to let it go. A bully is just a bully." My son said, "Okay," dried his eyes, walked over to the big pool and shouted at EK, "You're a bully," walked back with a smile and jumped in the pool. Immediately a woman came up to me and demanded, "Why did your child call my son a bully?" I began to give her a summary, and when I got to the part about him running the other kids off with aggressive behavior she cut me off to say, "It's a public pool. My son can play how he wants." I told her, "I agree, but it's not up to you if he is perceived by others as a bully." She tells me, "Well, if everyone wasn't raising their children to be weak this wouldn't be a problem." And I replied, "If you weren't raising your child to be a little cheetah with no consequence it wouldn't be a problem either. But you should get used to it." M got red in the face and stormed off to rat me out to the manager. Manager came and asked me my side of the story, I explained, and at the end she sternly said, "Sir, please don't use profanity here," with a smile and a wink. Apparently they had issues with M and EK before. When I got home and told my wife, she said I should have curbed my tongue. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You had the right to say that. I to be honest think it's kinda funny lol. Not the asshole. You said it to the mother, not the child. The mother had it coming honestly. She should have apologized for her child's behavior. Your speech to your son sounds like something out of a movie and not in a good way. What parent in 2021 addresses their child with son and tells a 3-year-old that bullies choose their victims for pleasure? It's technically true. I just don't think it's vocabulary a 3-year-old is going to grasp. If this is real, though, NTA. I mean, the kid was being a shitass. Bless you. This post is the third, or should I say turd, time you posted this story tonight. You are committed, I'll give you that. Not the asshole. You would have been if you had said that to the entitled kid or found and berated the mom. But it sounds like you explained things maturely to your child and the mom was the one who decided to escalate the situation. Not the asshole. If the kid is a saw, the kid is a saw. At least you made his mother aware. Grin. It's not like you said it to him directly. Because I often put myself into these situations, I really thought you'd be the asshole for a minute. Because if I heard a kid call my kid a bully, I would 100% go over and ask why my kid was called a bully. Because I refuse to raise a bully, so if it's happening and I have a chance to stop it in real time, I'm taking it. But this wasn't what that mom was doing. And while I usually don't condone name-calling in Confrontation, or name-calling for children in general, that ship sailed when she said you were raising your kid to be weak by simply giving him the tools he needed to deal with tiny assholes. Not the asshole. And good work with your kid. Not the asshole. I thought you said that to the kid's face and I almost called you a dick until I finished the story. But haha, yeah, you're in the right and pretty funny.